from the Fox 5 studios, this is Silver State Sports Live.
Happy Victory Thursday. The Golden Knights ignored the outside noise and took control in Game 1. Welcome into Silver State Sports Live. I'm Mike Davis.
And I'm Mariah Janos. The A's also secured a big win last night over a divisional opponent. And we here in studio are big winners as well because we got Paloma Villacana joining us to talk Runnin' Rebels basketball in just a bit. But let's soak in last night's VGK dub because it was a good one. To Ball Arena we go. Scoreless through the first. Let's jump to the second where it's Dylan Coughlin who snaps it home from the high slot. His first career playoff goal. Not on my bingo card for that one. It gives the Knights a 1-0 lead.
Just minutes later, Knights on the power play. Mitch Marner weaving through traffic. He knows where his guy is. He's going to feed Pavel Dorofeev for the one-timer. 2 unanswered for the guys in goal.
Moving to the third period, just minutes in, Ben Hutton fires. It's blocked, but Brett Howden is down low, swats it out of the air, and gets his stick on it for the rebound. 3-rip Knights.
But here come the Avalanche, generating a much-needed response. Valerie Danushkin tips it in off of the feed from Ross Colton. Colorado finally gets on the board.
And they weren't done there trying to stage the late surge. Moments later, Avs now on the power play, and Gabriel Landeskog buries it on the doorstep to make it a 1-goal game.
But it was a little too late for the Avs, pulling the tendy, and the Knights capitalize. Nick Dowd secures the empty netter, and it's good as gold. Vegas takes Game 1 with a final score of 4-2. Here's Coach John Tortorella after the game.
I just like the way we handle ourselves. I thought we checked for most of the minutes. After that, I thought we checked very well. Stopped making plays. We were doing a lot of flipping of the puck and lost a little bit of our forecheck. Yeah, I'm not worried about the team in those situations and found a way.
Yeah, we know they're a good team. We know they got a lot of skill on their team, and we respect that, but you can't respect them too much. And I thought we did a good job of defending and limiting their time and space, and I thought we blocked a lot of shots tonight and got in a lot of lanes and tied up some sticks.
And here to help us break down this massive victory, our very own Vince Sapienza, who's on the road with the team. Vince, help us make sense of this. How did the Golden Knights manage to pull off the upset of the Avs on the road in Game 1?
You know, if you talk to the Golden Knights, they would not call it an upset, but I understand what you're saying. Vegas handed Colorado their first home playoff loss of the postseason, and the biggest reasons as to why it starts with goaltender Carter Hart. Vegas was able to weather the first 4 minutes, a big reason because of the Knights netminder. From there on out, Vegas was able to get into a rhythm and find their game. Now, sometimes during the postseason, you need an unlikely hero. You need to flex your depth, and Dylan Coughlin proved to be the cog in the wheel for the Golden Knights in terms of moving them forward and creating some momentum. Not only does he score his first career playoff goal, he scores his first goal in the National Hockey League since December of 2021. His story alone is as unique and fascinating as they come. But from there, the Golden Knights felt the momentum. They quieted the crowd, and then special teams take over. Pavel Dorofeev scores on the power play, and then after killing off a penalty, Brett Howden scores an absolutely terrific hand-eye coordination, cat-like reflex goal, and he continues his tear. It's 3-0 heading into the third, and while you knew Colorado was going to bring their best in the final frame, they're a proud team, they're the President's Trophy winning team, it wasn't enough. Carter Hart did enough. The Golden Knights blocked a ton of shots. They played defense, and at the end of the game, one of the biggest plays in a 4-2 victory was Nick Dowd's empty netter. With the goaltender pulled for Colorado, Vegas on their heels, the crowd behind Colorado, and Nick Dowd outraces the Avalanche defense, beats out the icing, and then fills the empty net to secure the victory and take Game 1, something Vegas needed to do in order to have a chance in this series. They had to get at least one in this building. So far, 1 for 1. Now they get to get greedy in Game 2.
You gotta love that hustle. Vince, what does this win mean for the rest of the series?
Well, it means the Golden Knights have grabbed the attention of the Avalanche in a big way. Not to say that Colorado wasn't respecting the Vegas Golden Knights to begin with, but taking one on the chin like they did in Game 1 is certainly going to elicit a response. Nate McKinnon obviously was short with the media following Game 1. He's going to be even more motivated if that's even possible. But the biggest question moving forward in this series is the health of the two superstars that did not play in Game 1. Mark Stone did skate on the day of the game, did not skate on the off day this morning, just a simple optional for a couple of the scratches for the Golden Knights. But the other big question is Cale Makar for the Colorado Avalanche. Jared Bednar, the Colorado bench boss, basically said that he's day-to-day, did not rule him out for the series, but that is a massive hole left in the Avalanche roster, specifically on the blue line. He's one of the most dynamic players in the National Hockey League. So Colorado, while they may say all the right things, they're not going to play different, it's the next man up, that is a massive piece they are missing. But again, on the opposite side, Mark Stone has not played for the Golden Knights since Game 3 of that Anaheim series, and the Golden Knights have found ways to get better, look better, and rally around each other, starting with their goaltender Carter Hart and working their way out.
All right, we'll see if they can keep it up. Thank you so much, Vince. We'll see you tomorrow ahead of Game 2. Meanwhile, some developing news here. NASCAR champ and Las Vegas native Kyle Busch is in the hospital. According to his family, he's battling a serious illness. The family posted a statement to X today saying Busch will not race this weekend in Charlotte. The family is also asking for privacy as they navigate the situation.
Still to come on Silver State Sports Live. While the Knights were holding off a late comeback, the A's were staging one to get the win in Anaheim. We've got the highlights next.
This week on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. Your Triple SEN lineup is sponsored by AAA Roadside Assistance. Visit AAA today.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
The A's like to keep it interesting, and last night was a fun one in extras.
We love extras, so let's take a look at how it went down. Starting in the top of the first, the A's strike first. Tyler Soderstrom singles, knocking in two. A good start for the guys in gold.
Tied now in the second after a Jorge Soler home run. Carlos Cortez gives the A's the lead with a line drive to left, and there he is, Henry Bolte, scoring.
Bolting, some would say. To the seventh, A's down two. Nick Kurtz comes up clutch, 2 on, 2 out. A single brings home Daryl Hernandez, 5-4 Angels.
Then comes Jeff McNeil to the rescue. Trailing by a run in the ninth, the second baseman delivers, crushing a game-tying home run to right. It's tied, and we're headed to extras.
Love it. And now it's time for Sody to shine. Top of the 10th, Soderstrom does it. He knocks in the winning run on a single. Kurt scores. 6-5 A's would be the final. In the bottom of the 10th, Hogan Harris saves the day. Here's Mark Kotze after the win.
For Jeff, it's a big at bat. Over the course of the last 10, 12 days, it's been a battle, and I think for Jeff tonight, that just shows he's a pro, true pro. Just continues to grind. He's had a pretty good start to a series here in Anaheim, and I couldn't be happier for him and the club.
This week on Covering the Bases with the A's, broadcaster Chris Carey joined me to talk the almost no-no and the resolve of the A's and so much more. Take a look. First of all, JT Ginn, okay? I mean, he came close to this no-hitter. It was really fascinating to see how that all played out in the ninth. But then to me, the response the following game, dropping 14 runs. Tell us a little bit about the respawn of this team and just how special this team is when it comes to having ups and downs and being able to navigate those emotional roller coasters throughout a season.
Oh, it's a great question. I mean, when you look at these guys, they're young, they're hungry, they're tenacious, they want to fight till the bitter end, and they're playing for each other. And I think that you've seen that play out last year, I know we don't want to touch on it too much. The month of May was bad. There's just no other way around it. And this month, it's been a little bit up and down. You've seen the fun sides of this team. You've seen the team drop some games I think that they know that they should have won. And I think there was no exception to the JT Ginn start where he nearly threw a no-hitter. And I want to tip my cap to Mark Kotze for keeping Ginn in the game even after giving up that hit. He wanted his young guy to get a complete game, be rewarded for how well he has performed over his last few starts. And it just wasn't enough offensively to take care of a good Angels team. Now, last night, completely different story. Everyone was firing on all cylinders. It seemed like everybody was on the same page offensively. And I think they had a sour taste in their mouth after the loss in Game 1 against the Angels. And now they're back at 500. I think that they probably have higher aspirations than that. They're still in first place, but they want to create a bit of a gap against a good Seattle Mariners team and a good Texas Rangers team so that when they come back home and you have a few series at home and then you go on the road against the Cubs, the Houston Astros, and then, of course, that homestand in Las Vegas that is right around the corner. I think this team wants to have more than a winning record and give more of a reason for the faithful Las Vegas fans to show up, and I think that that's what they're doing right now.
Okay, last time you joined us, we talked about your history being a fourth-generation baseball broadcaster, of course, your great-grandfather, Harry Carey, but since we last spoke, you and your twin, Stefan, you guys actually called the game together. Tell us a little bit what that was like. It must have just been so emotional for you and your family.
Yeah, I think, the aftermath of it got a little bit more emotional for me. In the moment, it was a little bit hectic. You're talking about show flow. You're trying to arrange how you get a third person involved with two very effusive people in myself and Dallas Braden. I think my brother did a tremendous job. I've been pumping him up for years. I still think that he is one of the most talented broadcasters I've ever met. And, he was a runner-up for this job that I got. So it very well could have been him talking to you right now, and for him to be able to showcase his skills, albeit in a different type of environment, was nothing short of remarkable for me. And the fact that he hung in there with a show that he's never been a part of, a show, yes, that he watches from afar, but has never seen behind the scenes, and to get as many compliments as we did is really humbling, and it made me feel very special because I know how talented he is. We worked 2 years together in the minors and a number of years together in college, so we know each other like the back of our hands. And for Dallas to be gracious enough to give up that seat and to take a little bit of a different view in the dugout and create a cohesive bond with us too, it's just all together. I think it was a tremendous success, and maybe one day we'll get to do it again. But the organization really has really touched my heart with allowing us to do so.
All right, thanks so much to Chris. To check out the full interview, just go to our YouTube page at Silver State Sports.
All right, coming up, the moment we've all been waiting for. PV is joining the party. We're talking Runnin' Rebels after the break.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
Runnin' Rebels head coach Josh Pastner has inked 7 new players, all over 6 feet, adding size, length, and power for experience to this roster. Already the Runnin' Rebels are looking much bigger this upcoming season.
Yeah, with 5 Mountain West teams leaving to join the Pac-12, Josh Pastner and his Runnin' Rebs should run the league this year and win it all. But here to talk all about it with us is our Paloma Villacana, who just sat down with Coach Pastner this week. What did he have to say about his new squad so far?
Yeah, he's been busy this summer cooking in the transfer portal.
We love.
And, I just sat down with him. He's on the Reb Zone. His energy is larger than life. Mm-hmm. He's very excited, very passionate, enthusiastic. But one thing I've noticed about his 7 new players, all over 6 feet tall. So already this roster is just much bigger. He's bringing in experience from the SEC, Big 10, Big 12, and, a successful first year already taking the Rebels to the second round of the NIT. So they just have to consistently win, I would say. And like you guys mentioned, 5 Mountain West teams are out, headed to the Pac-12. UNLV should be the top dog in this league. And if they're not, Josh Pastner's in big trouble.
Okay, now, the big word that college fans need to know about right now is turnover, right? And I'm not talking about like an apple turnover that's delicious. I'm talking about turnover where it's just so much newness, right?
So much.
7 new signees. What can fans expect?
I mean, I think fans can expect to see a bigger team this year. Last year was tall and a lot of experience on that squad. We had a little bit of an issue with their injury starting the season off. They had the injury bug. Josh Pastner told us this summer he's going to really focus on individual training. There he is on the road at Utah State, giving the refs a hard time. But yeah, we saw the physicality. We saw the gritness on the road. Now I think we can expect for them to just notch it up one level. Remember, it was just his first year. But here's the thing at UNLV. It is that turnover that we talk about. So just winning consistently. These fans want to see them in the NCAA tournament. They haven't been to the big dance since 2013. It's just like, that is not the standard anymore. I mean, in this town in Las Vegas, we have the Super Bowl. The Aces are winning championships. The Lady Rebels are winning championships. Like, they need to be at that level now.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you just mentioned Josh Pastner dealing with the injury bug in his first season. Yeah. Not the best deck of cards that he was dealt there, but he's a very big half glass full kind of guy. Yeah. So what are his expectations? We mentioned the teams leaving the Mountain West. Yeah. What are his expectations for his program to dominate in this new looking conference?
I think they need to come out the gate swinging. Like I said, they should be the top dog in the Mountain West this year. Same goes for UNLV football as well. And that is the expectation here in Las Vegas, is to win championships, get back to the big dance. But he mentioned in our interview airing on Fox 5 today that he's focusing on individual training this summer. Last summer, he said he went too hard and conditioned too hard, and they started the year off shorthanded with multiple starters injured. So this year, fingers crossed for a healthy season, honestly. I know Dre Gibbs-Lawhorn ended up being the star. He wasn't even supposed to be their starting point guard. So getting those positions solidified in the summer and fall so they can come out swinging, dominating non-conference play. They just scheduled a big game against Kansas in the Players Era at Michelob Ultra Arena, so that's a huge game. So, like I mentioned, Josh Pastner's cooking. I know he's cooking. He's still recruiting right now, and one thing he said, he wants LeBron James and Magic Johnson to buy the Runnin' Rebels for $10 to $12 million.
Did he talk to you about that?
Yes, he did. He said, why bring an NBA team to Las Vegas? Obviously, that is going to happen. But one of these NBA guys who are here during the summer league can come to UNLV, buy UNLV Runnin' Rebels for like 10 to 12 millions. It's a tax write-off too. So if I had $10 million, Josh, I would buy your team.
Should we pitch it?
I think we really should.
A petition?
We should do it. I love Josh Pastner. Does he seem, he's always an energetic, Energizer Bunny type guy. Does he seem a little bit more settled in a sense in year 2? What have you picked up? I mean, settled in a good way.
I think he is a very passionate man. I mean, on the Reb Zone, on the court, off the court, he is a passionate man. He's very genuine, I believe. When he got the job, a lot of my friends at ESPN and the ACC network and everything, they were texting me, you guys are going to love him. He's a winner. And, he just kind of started the year off with some bad luck, shorthanded, injury bug, all of that. But year 2, I think he's figured out what he needs to do in the summer, in the fall, during the season. Now he's got a taste of the league. The best teams in the league are now gone. So really, this is UNLV's year to go win the Mountain West Championship.
All right, Paloma. Well, we can't wait. Obviously, there are months until tip-off, but the countdown is on. Paloma, we appreciate your time as always. Thank you so much.
All right, coming up, a former Raiders wide receiver is showing off his smarts as he enters retirement. We have more on that next.
You're watching Silver State Sports Live.
From the NFL to MIT.
Is that going to be the name of your autobiography?
you know what, I'm not intellectual enough for that. But that would be a good one.
Right?
Yeah.
I think we can make something work, especially with my AI imaging. But aside from Mike, that's also the move for former Raiders wide receiver Colin Johnson as he enters retirement.
Yeah, Johnson took to Twitter, or as I like to call it, X, as well as Elon Musk.
Okay.
He renamed it, if you have been living under a rock. But he went to X to share the news, writing, quote, "I'm grateful to share that I'll be enrolling at MIT Sloan this fall to pursue my MBA," end quote. That's pretty impressive stuff.
That's
I mean,
so impressive.
whenever I see these players make these types of transitions, I just am so, wow. There was a player back in the day who went to Florida State, and he also played for the Titans. His last name was Roll. He was part of the Roll family, Samari Roll, all those guys. But he actually became like a brain surgeon, this guy. And I always remember as a kid, like, wow, this guy played cornerback for the Tennessee Titans. He was one of the best Florida State football players, and now he's a brain surgeon. So anytime a player makes that navigation and just does something special, an MBA at MIT.
No, and I applaud it. You hear Shaquille O'Neal actually talk about it all the time, about the importance of getting an education and taking on business after or while playing still, and just having kind of your hand in multiple things so that you can just create some generational wealth for yourself. You never know with these athletes, you never know when your last day playing will come. So it's always a good move to get the smarts. So let's get into, if you could pick.
If I could pick what?
If you could
Anything?
pick one college, university, grades don't matter.
Okay.
Where would you go? What would you do?
Probably University of Phoenix Online.
Okay.
That would be my first choice for the social scene.
Yes.
You know, because joining a fraternity, just, you know, I hear they have a great dining hall. So, no. MIT would be up there, but there's no chance. I think, but Harvard, right? Come on.
Just to say.
Just to say. I would tattoo that on my forehead. Just be like, I went to Harvard.
Went to Harvard.
Wouldn't that be yours? Especially Boston?
I mean, yeah, love Harvard. Harvard's cool, but maybe like Dartmouth. I'm wearing green. Dartmouth has always been a little intriguing too, even though I'm not really like a New Hampshire kind of gal. I don't know.
Something
But
Ivy. I just need something Ivy.
Yeah, Ivy League's always fabulous.
Then my
maybe
parents
Brown.
would be proud of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, me too. My mom went to BC. My dad Northeastern for a couple of years. So
There you go.
you know.
All right, see. Boston girl right there. Congrats to Colin. We'll see you tomorrow.